We think evil is loud, but sometimes it's the silence that echoes longest. The scariest things aren't always screams, but the empty rooms where no one says a word. Albert Einstein once said, "The world will not be destroyed by those who do evil, but by those who watch them without doing anything." Because silence isn't peace. It's agreement, whispered. And maybe the most dangerous voice is the one that stays quiet. Have you ever seen something wrong and stayed quiet? Not because you didn't care, but because you were afraid. Afraid of saying the wrong thing, of becoming the next target, of making it worse. So you looked away, and life went on. But something stayed. A weight, a whisper that maybe you should have done more. We tell ourselves silence keeps us safe, that not choosing sides is staying peaceful. But here's the part we forget. Silence doesn't heal. It hides. It lets harm go unseen, unspoken, unchallenged. Like a crack in glass, too small to fix at first. Until one day, everything breaks. And maybe what truly damages the world isn't loud voices doing harm, but quiet hearts, watching and walking away. We thought silence made things easier, that if we didn't speak, the storm would pass, that staying quiet meant staying safe. But silence doesn't soften the damage. It delays the truth. It protects the wrong thing. Wrong becomes normal when no one dares to name it. And the more we avoid it, the more it grows roots. We used to say, "That's not my fight." But sometimes, choosing not to fight is choosing the wrong side. Evil doesn't always knock down doors. Sometimes it just waits quietly, while good people close their eyes. And maybe that's what hurts the most. Not that bad things happen, but that so many saw it and said nothing. Imagine a dark room, no voices, no movement, only the kind of silence that feels heavy. Then someone lights a candle. They don't shout, they don't demand, they just shine. Someone sees that glow and lights their own. Then another and another. The darkness doesn't leave all at once, but it softens, it shifts, it begins to lose. Because light doesn't need to fight darkness, it just needs to stop hiding. And maybe what the world needs isn't more noise, but more people willing to become a quiet flame in someone else's night. You don't have to change the world, just refuse to stay silent in it. Speak, not to shout louder, but to remind someone they're not alone. Look, not to judge, but to see who's hurting in the spaces everyone avoids. Act not to be praised, but because it feels wrong not to. Maybe your words will shake the silence. Maybe they won't. But your presence, your courage, your quiet flame, it matters. Because darkness fades not when we scream into it, but when we decide to stop standing still. And in a world that normalizes silence, your small act of light is already a revolution. The world doesn't fall apart because evil is unstoppable. It breaks because good people look away for too long. We thought silence kept us safe, but it only kept us distant from truth, from each other, from ourselves. Silence doesn't always sound like nothing. Sometimes it sounds like comfort, like not my problem, like they'll figure it out. But here's the quiet truth. The longer we wait to speak, the more harm finds a home. And yet, like the sun, you don't have to fight darkness to end it. You just have to rise. Maybe the light the world needs was hiding in your voice this whole time. If you've made it this far, thank you. Not just for watching, but for feeling. Because maybe the world doesn't need more opinions. It just needs more people willing to pause, to care, to listen. And if this story lit something in you, don't let it burn alone. Share it. Not because it's content, but because it might be the light someone else needs tonight. Sometimes, what changes a life isn't a loud voice. It's a quiet one that came at the right time. So wherever you are, whatever silence you've been carrying, know this. You don't have to shout. You just have to shine. Storylight, where stories find their light.